Turbo and 2K show.
What is up, 2K crew? We are back again this week, and as you can kind of see, I'm rolling solo tonight, but that's all right. We can still get into it. We can still get bout it. Yes, we are live. It is Sunday. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. I have a feeling that most folks went out and got their Corona on, got their Dos Equis on yesterday. Maybe you don't have to work tomorrow, and if not, happy Cinco de Mayo. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Yes, it is that time of the week again, folks, and I am really stoked about this one. Got a really cool show planned. We're going to kind of hit on a bunch of topics here, and I can't wait to get into it with you guys and gals. And yes, I was able to go live over on Facebook. So I'm still kind of hammering out the details, so I'm not sure if you do comment over there, I will not be able to pull your comment up like this. So if you do want to see your comments shown, go on over to the YouTube page, youtube.com/turbo2ks, because I would love to feature you guys and gals on the show tonight, especially a show like tonight, because I'm solo, and it's way easier to do something like this when there is people watching, when it is a little bit more interactive. So get on over there, drop me a comment, tell me where you're from, tell me something. Tell me something. Let's get a conversation started, and I can't wait. And as I said, we are live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. So really excited about that. If you're over on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to get notified every time we go live every Sunday. And like I said, drop a comment and let's get a conversation started here, folks. And for those of you on the audio side, you guys are the unsung heroes. Thank you for all that you do. And go ahead and give us a follow on whatever platform you are consuming your podcast content. All right, with that being said here, I do want to jump into some news here real quick. First and foremost, I want to give a big shout out to the Marcellus varsity baseball team. Man, those guys are tearing it up. 2Ks and C-Hut have those boys rolling, hitting on all cylinders. So keep it up, guys. You are doing absolutely amazing. I was kind of hoping that Christian would beat Christian or 2Ks would be here tonight so we can kind of get a little bit more in depth. But I have a feeling next week we will be doing that as well. So I believe they're 16 or 17-0. So that's absolutely awesome. There was a game, I think a doubleheader that was rained out, the second one. So no harm, no foul there, guys. Just keep it rolling. And yeah, we do have hats available. They are in the comments or in the description. So go ahead if you do want one of these awesome hats. I believe they're $30 plus shipping. And believe me, we're not making a whole lot of money off these. So go ahead and support your boy. And I love them. They're OG Flex Fits. So if you do know, if you're hip to that, then you know that they're good. But yeah, let's jump into some news here, aside from the hats. Odell Beckham Jr. looks to be signing with the Dolphins. Everyone's making a big deal about this. It is what it is. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, he didn't give a whole lot. The production last year was down, so is this another option for Tua in that offense? Sure. But I don't think he'll garner the attention that he did in prior stops or just prior years, because he's definitely not a spring chicken. So, but it's good to see a player like that get on a high-powered team, so he doesn't have to be the dude. So that's really good for him. So keep it up. Keep it up, OBJ. Keep it up. And let's see here. Let's go over here. I know I said we're going to talk baseball, but this is the news. This is the news portion. This is a tweet coming from Nick Moraldo, a.k.a. Nicky Skates, over at the Pat McAfee show. He said, "Pasta was flying. What a finish. Bruins and Panthers rematch of last year's magical round one on Monday. Let's go." Yes, the Bruins kind of, if you follow hockey at all, had the best regular season in NHL history last year, only to be ousted in the first round of the playoffs last year. So if you are a Bees fan, you got to be feeling good about this one. Yes, it did go 7, but at least you're moving on, and you won when it counted. So, yeah, this is the time of year where I try to pay attention to hockey, but if you've been following us for any amount of time, hockey and basketball playoffs just seem to go on and on and on forever and ever and ever. And man, oh man, is it super boring. We need to fix that. I know there's a lot of folks that are like, man, this is the best time of year to be a hockey or an NBA fan. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Well, let's go to, there was a big trade in the MLB. This is from Jared Carabas. Padres, let's do this one first. This is from Jeff Passan. Breaking, the San Diego Padres are nearing a deal to acquire second baseman Luis Arias from the Miami Marlins for a package of 3 prospects and a relief pitcher. A source familiar with the deal tells ESPN the trade is in medical review but is expected to be finalized soon. Which it did get finalized, and Mr. Arias did make his debut, I believe, yesterday, going 4 for 6. He started the game off 4 for 4, so any spark that can add to this Padres lineup, I guess, is a good thing. But here's the question. 2K crew, is if you remember last year, started last year, they signed Xander Bogaerts. and to a big money contract with lots of money, lots of years. And that's where Jared said the Padres moved Xander Bogaerts from short to second base, from second, and then traded for a second baseman. So, and that's kind of that's the big news here, folks. It's not that they made a move. It's not that they made this acquisition, but it's like, okay, whoa, you have a whole team full of infielders now. I mean, legitimately, you have a whole team full of infielders. And adding one more, I guess, hey, come to the party. Come to the party because yeah, it seems to be like just a regular. I mean, Arias is going to get on base. We've already seen that. He's the reigning NL batting champion. Was flirting with 400 for most of the year, or for most of the first half last year, and then kind of tailed off. But still, I'm pretty sure led baseball in hitting last year. So, is he going to get on base? Yes. Is he going to play good defense? Yes. But as far as the power is concerned, you're not going to get home runs from this guy, which is fine because you have him in a lineup that it seems like every single person on that lineup can go deep at the drop of a hat. So is it really needed? No. But as we're going to see later on in the show, where the Padres are right now as compared to some of the other teams in that division, this seems to be a team that is kind of stuck spinning its wheels, and it has been since. I'm even going to go back to, and now mind you, it might be just a fact of the division they play in, but I don't think so. You know, they're trying to build teams to beat the Dodgers. They're trying to build teams to perpetuate this rivalry with the Dodgers. However, if it's not really that great of a rivalry, considering it's kind of one-sided right now. You know, in my opinion, rivalries are made when teams go back and forth. They win, they lose, they win, they lose, they win, they lose. And I think just for the most part, it's been just a Dodger-dominated division. Now, is Luis Arias going to be the spark plug that's going to take this team into overdrive? I really don't think so, but I do think it's a step in the right direction, because with this guy in the lineup, you're not going to have just horrid hitting performances. You're not going to have this stagnant offense. He's going to be one that's going to be pushing the envelope, getting on base, causing chaos on the base paths, and that's the part I really like about it. Now, let's take a step back from that, okay? Where does this leave the Marlins? I mean, we're going to talk about this a little bit later in the show, how horrible of a start they've gotten off to, but where does that leave them? I mean, yes, they still have Jazz Chisholm for now. Now, I'm really kind of confused as to why the Padres went after Arias instead of going for Chisholm, because they have 7 shortstops on the team already. What's one more? And yeah, probably the asking price was a little bit steeper than 3 prospects and a reliever. Sure, I get that, but what this team is doing should not shock you. Now, if you look at it, they made the playoffs last year, and they're a team that has traditionally done this. The only thing that didn't happen last year is they didn't win the World Series before they blew the team up. So we've seen turnover in the front office. We've seen turnover with players, and just turnover everywhere down there in Miami. Even since Jeter's left there. So I think this has more to do with the direction that the Marlins are going in, rather than the direction that the Padres are going in. And I think it's just a matter of time before Jazz is on another team, and whichever team gets him is going to have a potential superstar in their hands. I mean, he, when healthy, is a very, very good player, a very flashy player, a very young player that you could build stuff around. So that part of it, I'm not really worried about. It's just he needs to stay on the field. I mean, that's bottom line. He needs to stay on the field. So that's the part that really, really concerns me with him. But nonetheless, it's a sad state of affairs if you are indeed a Marlins fan, which especially living up here in Michigan, I don't know any. So, big shout out to you guys, I guess. But yeah, like I said, I think it has more to do with the direction the Marlins are going in as compared to where the Padres are going in. Now let's bring it back home to let's do this one first. I thought this one was rather funny. This is from Travis Sawchik over on Twitter. He says the A's are 2.5 games out of first place with the game's best closer and an owner trying to run them out of town. We've seen this movie before. I thoroughly enjoy this tweet, which is why I wanted to share it with you. And we will get into the A's and how they are doing comparatively to the teams in their division, and even compared to last year. So A's are bringing it back. The A's are swinging it, and the A's are pitching it. So they are definitely not the pushover they were last year. But let's, like I kind of alluded to, let's bring it back and keep it here in Michigan. This is from Calico Joe over on Twitter at Calico Joe MLB. It says actress Sydney Sweeney revealed in a recent interview that her favorite MLB player is Riley Green. Quote, he has an aura to him in the way he plays, the Hollywood star said. It's hard to imagine anyone better than him. I mean, do you know he's second in WAR amongst position players? And, I mean, pretty handsome dude. Let's just be honest. And the way his season is going so far, he does garner all of that attention. So maybe we have a potential new Hollywood couple, I guess you could call it, athlete Hollywood couple, to go right alongside Travis and in his woman. So maybe it's a Sydney Sweeney, Riley Green romance in the mix. But let's talk about some stats here. I mean, for real. Again, this is from Calico Joe. Pitchers in MLB history to allow 30 hits and 8 walks or less while striking out 75 plus during any 10-game span. Chris Sale, Corbin Burns, Jacob deGrom, Tariq Skubal. Now, I have a feeling at the beginning of the season, if I would have told you that Skubal's going to be on that list, you would think I'm crazy. And this guy is proving start after start that he is, even before the season, I sprinkled a little money on him to win the Cy Young, and he is proving that he is rightfully he needs a seat at that table in that discussion. If not, be the front runner right now. And we're going to get into a lot of the MLB leaders and wins and stuff like that here in a little bit. But the way he is pitching, the way that whole team is playing, I am really enjoying watching them. The only thing I'm really kind of worried about with them is the production of Torkelson. I mean, it seems like this kid rides probably the biggest roller coaster when it comes to getting in and out of the box that I've ever seen. He hit 30 home runs last year, which was awesome. And I think a lot of folks, me in particular, or me as well, that expected him. I'm not saying he's going to hit 40 or 50, but be that 270, 30 home runs, 100 RBI guy year in and year out. And I'm not sure what's going on. He has all the tools. I mean, he was the number one overall pick for a reason. So what's causing this slump? What's causing this just this whole he kind of looks lost at the plate, to be honest with you. And if you look at the batting average and stuff, I think that'll really back me up on this. I mean, maybe it's kind of hinted that he might be, optioned down to Toledo to kind of work some shit out, which I think at this point, I'm not ready to jump on that bandwagon yet. But I do think that something needs to be done. Someone needs to pull him aside, remind him why he was the number one overall pick, and just he was destroying pitching in college. He was destroying pitching in the minors. So yes, he is still very, very young. I get that. This whole team is. So are there going to be some ebbs and flows? Is there going to be a lot of roller coaster riding? Yes. But I have a feeling that this Tigers team isn't as bad as what a lot of folks were seeming to think going into the season. So hopefully he can get that turnaround, because like I said, this team is fun to watch. I really thoroughly enjoy watching them. So, yeah, I really, really, really hope he can get on track. All right, let's jump into some MLB questions. And it's not so much questions as, because like I said, I was supposed to have some cohorts here tonight, and both of them ended up being sick. So we're going to dive into this anyway. But let's take a look at the standings real quick here. Start off with the AL East. We've got the Baltimore Orioles sitting atop that division with a record of 23-11. The Yankees are 1 game back. Red Sox 4.5. Tampa 6.5. Toronto 7. Tampa 6.5. Toronto 7.5. Yankees have a 55 run differential. The Orioles have a 55 plus 55 run differential. Yankees have a plus 42, and the Red Sox of all teams have a plus 41. And this right here is not surprising to me. There's really no questions here. I was asked a few times between shows when it comes to Jackson Holiday, was he rushed up? I mean, was it a good move? Did they have to send him down? And when it comes to the answer of did they have to send him down? Absolutely. He was struggling mightily. And for a player of his caliber, now, mind you, folks, he's 20 years old. So it's not like he's far along in this journey. He is 20 years old. Can't even buy a beer in Baltimore when he's with the team. So I think a player that young, you kind of have to be very careful, because this is the first time he's ever struggled ever at any level. So for him to struggle at the highest level shouldn't shock you. If it is not uncommon for young players like that to get sent back down. And I honestly think it was the right move to bring him up when they did. And they figured out what he needs to work on. Plain and simple. Now, I have no doubt in my mind that this kid is going to be A-okay. You look at all the other prospects they brought up in the last 2 or 3 years. They've all kind of done their thing too. So I'm not at all worried about this. I mean, it is going to be just a matter of time before he is back with the big league squad. And it doesn't shock me at all that Baltimore's sitting atop this division. They do have just as many wins with the Yankees, but they have 2 fewer losses. So this team is right where it really needs to be. And I think you're going to see the Yankees and Orioles kind of battle it out for that top spot throughout the season. So that one's pretty much going chalk in my opinion. The only, like I said, the real surprise is I honestly thought the Rays were going to be better. I personally thought the Blue Jays were going to be better as well. Now, mind you, the Blue Jays are 3 games under 500. They've had a lot of injuries, so will they get back on track? Yeah, I really do think so. The surprising factor with the whole Red Sox story is the pitching. I mean, I did not have on my bingo card that the 2024 Boston Red Sox pitching staff was going to lead baseball in pretty much every single stat. Now, it's kind of been the offense that's been slacking and that has not been as productive as the pitching. So will that kind of continue? Or they've actually made some moves, and again, the injury bug has hit the Red Sox very, very hard. So I think once they get some of those players back, will they make a run at the Orioles and the Yankees? No, I honestly don't. But this team is better than I think any Red Sox fan thought, even coming into the season. Their new pitching coach has made a world of difference in that whole staff. So let's see if we can. And again, it's going to come down to, is this team going to stay healthy? Let's move on to the Central. The Central, folks, I hate to say it. This American League Central, I think, these teams are better than a lot of folks really thought, myself included. And if 2K's in C-Hut were here, they'd be saying the same thing. The Guardians are sitting atop this division 22-12. The Twins, the aforementioned, and the thumbnail here they're 19-14. The Royals are 20-15. Tigers are 18-16, and the White Sox are going to be bad all year. They're 8-26 with a negative 82 run differential. So yes, things are not going good in the south side of Chicago, but with all four of the other teams, this is going to be a very fun division to kind of keep an eye on. What the Guardians are doing with a brand new coach, an ex-player now coach, Stephen Vogt. I mean, he's doing an awesome job with what he has. I think with the Guards, I really couldn't name a whole lot of players on that team, so good on them. But the team here I really, really want to talk about is the Minnesota Twins. Now, again, being a Red Sox fan, we were just in Minnesota, and we're almost swept. We're almost swept by said Twins. Not saying that, I've already said that we're not, Red Sox are not winning the AL East. They're not. So it's not like they're world beaters by any means, but the first couple games were bad. I mean, this Twins team put it on them. Now, what kind of concerns me with this Twins team is they're 2.5 games back after winning. Aside from today, they lost their first game in 13. They had a 12-game winning streak going into today, and the Red Sox came away with a win this afternoon. But before this 12-game winning streak, let's see, 7-13. They were 7-13. Made a run, love every minute of it. And hopefully this is a sign of where they're going to be at. But it took a 12-game winning streak for them to be 2.5 games back of the Guards. Likewise, the Royals are also 2.5 back. Their last 10, they're 5-5. Tigers are going through it a little bit. They've lost 3 straight and lost 6 of their last 10. So this, like I said, this division is going to be fun, and I think with the Twins, and it's kind of a very similar situation that we're going to see when we talk about the A's, is that this team isn't supposed to win. This team was not supposed to win, and it's always fun to see teams like that where every analyst is like, nope, this team sucks. This team really, really sucks, and for them to come out and play and be 5 over 500 right now, I think is pretty awesome. And just for food for thought, Tigers fans, you're 18-16 at 2 games over 500. I can't remember the last time the Tigers were, especially to start a season like this, at 18-16. So, yes, they are 4 games back. I do think this division is any one of those 4 teams. White Sox are definitely excluded from this conversation, but those 4 teams, the Guards, Twins, Royals, and Tigers, I think there's a very good possibility that any one of those can win the division. And with records like that, we might be talking about a wild card spot here, folks. We might be talking about a potential wild card coming out of the Central. So yes, I'm very, very definitely keeping an eye on that division. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Let's jump into the AL West. We got the Mariners sitting atop there with the Rangers 1/2 games back. Like the aforementioned Oakland A's are 17-18, 2.5 games back, which is awesome. And then the Astros and Angels sit 12-22, both 7 games back. Mariners are 19-15, Rangers are 19-16. So essentially neck and neck right there, 1/2 game back. This came down to the wire last year as well. However, the Astros were the ones sitting atop. Now, the Astros are really concerning. The Astros are extremely concerning. Are they going to make another run at the playoffs? Are they going to? Is their streak of 7 consecutive ALCS streak in jeopardy? Absolutely. Now, I completely understand the injury thing. I get it. I absolutely get it. your whole pitching staff, your starting staff, is on the IL. Now, we have seen Verlander come back. He's pitched okay. He's done Justin Verlander stuff. But when it comes down to when these guys are healthy, how far out are you going to be? How far out is too far? And like I said, there's 7 games back. 7 games. 12 and 22. At the beginning of the season, I have a very good feeling there's not a single person that watches baseball would say on Cinco de Mayo, the Astros would have an identical record to the Angels. To the Angels. And speaking of Angels, shout out Mike Trout, T's and P's. Hopefully that injury is something that we can still see you again this season. That's what it sounds like. He did post a very nice photo on Twitter, kind of explaining he did have surgery. It's not expecting to be season ending, but man, it stinks when someone is that good for as long as he's done it. And yes, we did get a lot of hate when we were talking about is Mike Trout a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yes, I still believe that. If he retired today, March 5th, 2024, 5 years from now, he should go into the Hall of Fame. Just walk right in. I think what a lot of folks are kind of butthurt about is that he does not want to be the face of baseball. He does not want to be this publicized person. He does not want to be in every single commercial. Now, during his tear, he could have been in every single commercial, kind of Peyton Manning style, Eli Manning style, and now we're seeing Pat Mahomes do that, and Travis Kelce. So could Trout garner the same attention and the same money? Absolutely, 100%, 100%. But that's not his vibe. So I think he gets a raw deal because of that. I think he gets a raw deal because the Angels have been terrible the entire time he's been there. And to have him be around Albert Pujols and Ohtani, 2 of the better hitters in the history of the game, and not do anything in the playoffs during any of that time is one of the greatest travesties in sports history. So that's why I think he gets kind of a bad rap for a lot of this stuff. So let's switch over to the National League, National League East. National League East. Phillies are on a tear right now. I'm watching the Phillies Giants. Phillies are up 5-1, top of the 5th. Bryce has hit a bomb as usual. And this team looks tough, 2K Crew. This team looks tough. The Braves have lost 3 straight. They were I believe they were swept by the Dodgers. This Dodgers team is good, 2K Crew. I mean, you didn't need me to tell you that, but yeah, this Dodgers team is finding it. I think they had the second best record in all of baseball. Let's see, 23 and 676. 676. Yes, they do have the second best record in baseball. The Phillies and the Orioles both are sitting at 22 and 11. So yeah, this Phillies team is good. It is good. The Braves are only 2 games back. So if you're a Braves fan, do not pump the brakes. Everything's fine. You went out on the West Coast and got absolutely dog walked by the Dodgers. I mean, it seems like every single ball was flying out of Dodger Stadium. So was it a good litmus test for the Braves? Absolutely. Do I think it is going to come down to the Braves and Dodgers in the NLCS? Absolutely, 100%. But man, this is the Phillies and Braves are going to be fighting all season for that top spot in the NL East, and I wholeheartedly believe that both those teams will make the playoffs. Obviously, one of them is going to have to be a wild card, but yes, that is going to be 100% fact. The Nats are 17 and 17, sitting at 500. Man, we're having a C.J. Abrams, coming out party down there or over there in Washington. If you don't remember, he was part of the package to get Juan Soto to San Diego. And yeah, this kid is finding it. He is coming out of his shell, and it is completely awesome. This kid, if you haven't watched the Nats, look him up. He is must-watch TV. Is he as flashy as some of the other players that we're going to talk about here in a little bit? No, but he is very young. He is very talented, and probably isn't going to be a national too much longer. Let's put it that way. The Mets are 16-18. Man, that team is just I can't put my finger on them. I can't. They are. You talk about roller coaster, dude. This team is up and then down and then up and then down and then up and then down even farther. So to kind of get a grasp on them, good luck. Good luck. And the Marlins, we already talked about them. We already talked about the Marlins. Yeah, the Marlins are 14 games back, which I believe is the biggest deficit. No, the White Sox are also 14 back. So 14 games back at May 5th. Yes, your season is over. See you next year. See you next year. NL Central. This team, this is going to be a dogfight the whole time. And we talked at kind of great lengths a few episodes ago comparing the NL and AL Central teams, and the Brewers are sitting atop that. No, they're actually tied with the Cubs for the lead in that division. The Reds are 16-18, Pittsburgh Pirates are 16-19, and the Cardinals are 15-19. There is kind of a big gap between the bottom three as compared to the top two, but this division has, I was tooting the Cubs horn, riding the Cubs train when we did our picks. I do think that is one of the best infields defensively in the game, and we saw some balls fly out of Wrigley yesterday. Woo, damn, yes, this team can hit, this team can pitch. And it is going to be exciting to see this come down to it, because I have a feeling that the Reds and Pirates have not yet. They're not done. They're not done quite yet. Things are now. Again, these are two teams that cannot get much farther behind if they really do want to make a run at this thing, and it is completely, imperative that they do not lose any more ground, because I think ultimately what's going to happen is they are going to build or dig themselves a hole they cannot get out of, which is sad looking at the talent, the young talent, the raw talent on that Reds and Pirates team. Both of them have their crews, O'Neill and Ellie Dela. So we need to get we need those two teams to stay competitive, just because of that. Just and it's weird to say that the talent that the Pirates have. This Pirates team is a very good team. Do they need pitching? Yes. When will we see Paul Skeens? I think is the question of the year so far. He's human. He gave up a run in one of his starts. So what else could they be working on? And Skeens was on the Pat McAfee show not too long ago, and he handled the infamous question of when are you getting called up, because we need this team needs Paul Skeens. But I completely understand too that they need him more for not just this year, but for his whole career. He is a special talent. There's a reason why he was selected number 1 overall, and there was a reason why he was a I almost said Little League World Series, College World Series champion, and yeah, it is going to be, and they have to bring him up sooner rather than later, because like I said, they cannot fall any further back. They are half a game ahead of the St. Louis Cardinals, which, if you haven't watched them, are terrible. They are terrible. They cannot hit at all. So let's jump over, let's go out to the West, the West Coast. Dodgers, like we already talked about, they're 23-13, run differential of plus 63. They are just destroying the baseball. They are pitching the baseball. We've seen Yamamoto have that really, really rough start, the very first one, and has come and just basically come and become what we thought, or what every baseball fan thought he was going to be, which is, just an absolute dominant pitcher. And talking about him, I watched one of his starts the other day, and man, it looks like he's just effortlessly playing catch with the catcher, and it's 97. Like, how is that even fair? Doesn't even look like he's putting a whole lot of effort into it, and it's 97 and moving. It's just not fair. It really is not fair. And if you are a Dodgers fan, and I know there are some in the 2K crew, you've got a good one. You've got a good one. We talked about the Padres, and now mind you, 2K crew, the Dodgers are the only team over 500 in this division. Padres are 18-19, 5.5 back. Giants are 15-19. D-backs 15-20. Rockies are terrible, 8-26. Ironically enough, the Diamondbacks are 15-20 and have a +7 run differential. The Giants are 15-19 and have a -35 run differential. So, I think if you were to ask me what are the biggest surprises in baseball after the first month, well, the first one we already talked about. I figured the Blue Jays and Rays would be better. Both central divisions are a lot closer, and they are playing better baseball overall than I thought anyone really thought. So that's a big surprise. I would have never thought the Astros would be 12-22 after a month. But yeah, I think the West, the NL West is panning out as most folks thought, kind of per schedule. So, well, let's look at some of the league leaders here. Some of the league leaders. And let's go full screen with this one. All right. And yeah, there's two players tied atop the batting average stat. That is Ohtani and Alec Bohm, of all folks. Did not really, I would have never thought to put him or even think that he would even be close to 364. But yes, both players are hitting 364. Ohtani has 10 home runs where Bohm has 4. Stephen Kwan for the guards is third. Mookie Betts is fourth. Will Smith fifth. So that's the Dodgers have 3 of the top 5 in batting average, which is kind of sick. And just goes to show you that, yes, that the only one that's missing, the only one out of my mind that's missing is Freddie Freeman. And where is he at here? He can't be too far down here. Let's see. I know he hasn't gotten off to the start that we're used to seeing. Oh, wow, he is farther down here than that. All right, he is definitely not in the top 50. So let's just leave it at that. Do I think he'll bounce back and be closer to that traditional Freddie Freeman? Absolutely, 100%. There are 4 players with 10 home runs, and I have a feeling that let's click on complete leaders here. If I would have at the beginning of the season, if I would have told you Mike Trout is leading the league in home runs, you probably would have laughed at me. Now, yes, we are going to see Trouty slip on this list because he's out for an extended period of time. But the gentleman tied with him, there's 2 gentlemen tied with him that I guarantee you never would have thought would even come close to this, is Marcell Ozuna has 10, and Gunnar Henderson of the uber talented Oriole team is tied with 10, and of course Ohtani. Ohtani is sitting there at the top. Tyler O'Neill is he's tied with Kyle Tucker for 5th with 9, and a whole slew of folks at 8. Let's see here. Riley Green is kind of the one that jumps out here. I mean, we've got Salvi Perez, Max Muncy, who hit 3 of them, I think, yesterday. So to see him at 8 is, and especially at 3 in one game. Teoscar Hernandez, Kyle Schwarber, Josh Naylor, Adolis Garcia, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, Brett Rooker, who had 2 of them yesterday, I believe. Cal Riley and then Riley Green. And then Ellie De La Cruz has 8 as well. So I would have never thought that at any point in the season, Riley Green would have more home runs than Aaron Judge. But he does. Because Aaron Judge only has 7. Fernando Tatis has 7. Jose Altuve also has 7. So in the aforementioned C.J. Abrams has 7. So to have he's completely shocking a lot of people, and it's awesome. So if you are a card collector, I would get on some of his rookie cards here. Let's go to RBIs. Marcell Ozuna sits atop of that list with 33. The aforementioned Alec Baum is 32. Sal Perez 30. Juan Soto 28. Jose Ramirez at 27. And let's see, what is this? Hits. Ohtani at 52. Mookie at 50. Altuve at 47 or 48. And Trey Turner and Steven Kwan are at 47. Stolen bases. Now, one of the gentlemen on here that I probably should have talked about in kind of the division rundown. Ellie De La Cruz is leading baseball with 19 stolen bases. Acuna has 14, along with Bryce Terang from Milwaukee. And Acuna has not gotten off to the start that I think a lot of us really thought he would. I think he has 2 home runs, and the first one came like last week. So not the power numbers for Acuna that we're used to seeing. But yet again, that is something that I think will kind of work its way out, and he will be just fine. Why? Because he is Ronald Acuna Jr. Now let's look at let's flip to the pitchers here. Wins. Tyler Glasnow and Ranger Suarez are tied with 6. Seth Lugo, Shota Imanaga, and Reed Garrett have all 3 of those have 5. Again, rich get richer when it comes to the pitching. I've always been a huge Glasnow guy. I'm glad to see him be as successful as he is to start his Dodger career, as well as I'm sure Dodger fans are ecstatic. Why? Because he's just a cool dude. I really, really like him, and he's a player that you can get behind and you can like and you can root for. So I really do like him. Ranger Suarez is throwing the absolute piss out of the baseball, and it is amazing. ERA, again, Imanaga at 0.78, 0.78. Jose Barrios, 1.44. Cutter Crawford, 1.56. Seth Lugo, 1.60. Javier Assad, 1.66. So on the pitching side, the Cubs have number 1 and number 5 in ERA, which at the beginning of the season, I guarantee you wouldn't have even thought that would be the case. Let's expand this here. We talked about Ranger Suarez. He's at 1.72. Skubal at 1.90. Tanner Houck for the Red Sox, 1.99. So yeah, there's a lot of dude, and Tyler Glasnow's at 2.7, which seems completely terrible considering there's a dude that has a sub-1 ERA with 6 games pitched. 6 games pitched. Yeah, he's given up 3 earned runs in 34 2/3 innings. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. And if you haven't seen the interviews with him, he is a character, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Saves, Clay Holmes for the Yankees has 11, as well as Kyle Finnegan for the Nats and Ryan Hensley for the Cards. Emmanuel Clace for Cleveland has 10, and Robert Suarez has 10 as well. Strikeouts, Tyler Glasnow, 63, Skubal, 53, Crochet, 53, Zach Wheeler, 52, and Jarrett Jones for the Pittsburgh Pirates at 52. We're not going to go over quality starts because I think that's a bogus stat to begin with. But yes, that is, I think the thing that jumps out the most off this page, 2K Crew, is we talked about the Dodgers being amazing, and they are. And they deserve every single accolade that they're getting. And we see in every single one of these leaderboards, we're seeing them littered throughout the top 10. So I guess the question moving forward is this team going to, it's starting to be, which a lot of folks can say it has been a dynasty. It's been dynastic with the run that they've had winning the division. I think if you're a Dodgers fan, you want to see more World Series championships. I mean, I can be blunt about that. I mean, that has to be on the forefront of every single Dodger fan. So to have the offseason that they did, the spending that they did, they better have the production. And lo and behold, they do. Lo and behold, they do. I mean, we talked about Will Smith with batting average. Throughout all the free agent acquisitions, they extended Will Smith so he can get jiggy for many years to come in LA. And so not only are they being aggressive in free agency, but they're also making sure they're taking care of their guys. So which in my opinion is what you have to do to have a successful organization. And of course it doesn't hurt when you have, the group that the ownership group that they have that are not afraid to spend money. You have to be looking at winners. You have to. Couple of the surprise things. I think Marcell Ozuna, the start that he's off to, I have a feeling that there's not a single Braves fan out there that would have said, yeah, Ozuna's going to have more home runs, more RBIs, and more hits than Acuna. Or even Matt Olson. Matt Olson really, Olson and Acuna really haven't even gotten started. And this team is still that good right now. Moving forward with the Spencer Strider injury, not so sure how that's going to play out. But it looks like they're still in it to make a run. So that is completely awesome. See here. All right. I think that's it, 2K Crew. I think that's it. I do have some really cool content planned, but I do need the other two cohorts here to do that. I want to do age 25 and under draft, MLB draft with like I said, the other two cohorts that we bring on here. We all know 2Ks loves drafts, so I think this is going to be really, really cool. And then we'll post it here in the Facebook group to see who has the best under 25 or 25 and under team moving forward. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And I have a lot of this or that types of things that I want to play with the guys and see what they think. So kind of bookmark those because we will be getting to those. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with those. And like I said, I really can't wait. I cannot wait. So yeah, everyone over watching on Facebook, like I said, the experience is probably a little bit better over on YouTube. YouTube.com/Turbo and 2Ks. Head on over there, subscribe, ring the bell, drop a comment, do all those good things. And yeah, we will see you next time. And as always, Jim Rome, we're coming for you.